So I'm piggybacking off of Erika, but I mean, you being able to share and talk about something so heavy and kind of trusting this as a space to be okay to talk about it, I appreciate it. Like it's not easy. It's not easy to talk about those things.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like, Sarah was talking about this last time, like when you talk about heavy shit, it makes people uncomfortable, but like the only way that people are going to get more comfortable talking about it or hearing it is if we do it. And welcome back, everybody. I'm Erika.
And I'm Sarah. This is the Living Understaffed podcast, the chaos we can't clock out of. Today we have indie author Vanessa Kramer on the show with us. We know her through Casey Bookbeat. Say hi. Hi. So Erika, how has the last week been? Have you been understaffed at all?
Obviously. I have been really busy because my supervisor took the early retirement, which great, love that for her, except they're not hiring anyone for her position, so a lot of it I am doing, which is fine. Like it's good for me like career-wise, but like I wasn't getting any more money, which kind of sucked. And now they're trying to do that, but because it's a government position, it like takes a while. They can't just like promote someone. So in the meantime, I've just had a lot of work because if I don't do it, nobody is going to do it. And I just can't not do things. So I've been working a lot, which is good. Because who wants to be alone with their thoughts? Disgusting. And also I'm just like being at work, and I would rather be so stressed out, like pulling my hair out because I do not have a spare second, than be bored at any like hands down. So I am complaining, but also I'm being dramatic.
I feel that. I get that. I think my last week has been just catching up admin stuff. Well, I shouldn't say necessarily catching up. I'm fairly well caught up from like the mess and depression that is my mom's funeral and all of that weird like mental state. But this last week I did a lot of focus on trying to help whoever my replacement is going to be, you know. So come October, when I'm officially out of Missouri, like there's just going to be a lot of things. And so I'm trying to put like these measures in place to allow for people to have like avenues to make sure that the job still gets done. The problem is that I like doing spreadsheets and I like creating processes and I like being able to do these things. But the problem is going to be that they're losing another person and having to train someone right now for the promotion that I was supposed to get, and then also train somebody new to replace me. And I have empathy for the situation, but also I don't. It's kind of a shitty thing to say, but it's true. Like I'm going to do my best to help, but up until a certain point, like there's nothing I can do, you know? So there's that. And then I traveled to, sorry, Vanessa, I was trying not to put too much on social media because I knew all of my new like Casey Bookbeat and Lit and Libations friends would be like, oh my God. But I was in Kansas City for work over the weekend. And it was, I know, I'm sorry. But it literally, it was like 18-hour days. Like it was a lot. And so we got there Thursday night and we didn't get home until Sunday night. And it was museum after tour after wagon tour and Independence in Kansas City and going to, you know, the wagon trail thing and then going to Polypop and then taking them to the World War I museum and then going here and going there and going like doing all these things. And then of course we have all the meals in between that we have to feed them and we have to herd cats left and right to make sure that we have everybody with us. And like, yeah, I didn't really have any time. So I was like, don't put anything on social media before next week. Like, don't do it. Cause like, ugh. But Kansas City is my favorite city. I fucking love that place. But getting to take the students there one more time before I leave this position, like, was really nice and lovely. So I'm glad that I got to do that. I did go have a drink with Meg Becker on Saturday night. Her and her husband came and picked me up for a drink so we could just at least see each other in passing again before leaving for Texas. So, like, that was just lovely. So now today was just a bunch of catching up from the couple of days that I was out. So it's not, for once, it's not that bad right now. Like, we're okay. But Erika did allow me to do a bye week last week because I just could not get my shit together. Like, I could not
allow you.
I mean, we're a partnership, man. If you had said, "Ooh, I just don't think that's a good idea," I probably would have pushed one out. But, like, thank you for that.
I would never do that to you. Yeah, Sarah was like, is it okay if I do a bye week this week? I just have a lot going on. And I was like, obviously.
Yeah. I do appreciate it.
You know what? I will say, though, Greg did tell me to tell you that he was highly upset that it's a bye week because he's been looking forward to the episode. Also, we call him Greg because his name is Greg, but we both have accents and we both say Greg because we can't help it. And now
with 2 G's.
Yes.
2 G's.
Yeah.
So, well, 3 G's. GRAYG.
Or
yeah.
AYG. So we both call him Greg.
And he loves it.
He loves it. He is, well,
he doesn't.
He'll be fine. But he is one of our favorite fans. He's my favorite fan. He listens to the podcast every week.
Thank you for clarifying. He's
Hi, Greg.
Erika's favorite fan. That was funny.
He did take me to get ice cream yesterday. He took me to get ice cream, and then he took me to a bookstore.
Wow.
I know. And I didn't even, he was like, do you want to get ice cream? I can pick you up in an hour. And I was like, absolutely, I do. Because hungover me on an empty stomach for sure just needed a bowl of ice cream.
Correct.
So.
Love that.
We got ice cream, and then he was like, oh, I wanted to go to, like, Second and Charles and look at something. You want to come? And I was like, obviously I want to go to Second and Charles. Who do you think I am?
He clearly doesn't know you and probably doesn't listen to the podcast, because why wouldn't you want to go to a bookstore?
Correct. I don't think he really realized what he was getting himself into, because he actually wasn't too bad this time. But he was done in like 5 minutes, and I was like, no, I am not done yet.
You have underestimated your timeline, sir.
Yeah, you're lucky this isn't Barnes & Noble, because...
Yes. Yeah. So, our lovely guest, Vanessa, how have you been understaffed? Have you been experiencing anything understaffed lately?
I'm always understaffed. I run an in-home daycare and have to deal with shitty diapers and screaming babies all day, and I'm home alone all by myself. My 2 kids are home for summer break, but I'm home by myself taking care of more kids. I actually told them that if they interrupt this interview at all, that I'm selling the Switch. So hopefully that's enough to get them to stay away from me for a little bit. But I did an event on Saturday, and I ran my table all by myself. My husband usually goes with me to help me, like, take payments and all that stuff, but he helped with the KC Book Beat event as a volunteer. And so I rocked it solo, and I did pretty good. like I did good. But you know, when you're used to having someone to bounce stuff off of, or like take payments while you're signing stuff, or like I had like 6 people at my table at once at one point, and I got overwhelmed. And so I like clapped really loud and I was like, okay, I'm going to start my pitch all over so everybody can listen at the same time. And it was really awkward.
I get that. I get it. That's fantastic.
But I'm doing my best. I got a new phone, which I desperately needed. I told you I spilled milk on my old phone, and so
Yeah.
iPhones are
Yeah.
somewhat waterproof, but not milk-proof apparently.
Not degree-proof.
So I couldn't hear anybody. But I have my new phone now, and I'm getting used to having a way bigger phone and it actually working.
Same. Sarah is gonna make fun of me. I had an Android forever, and Sarah and I are now official, like we're on the same phone plan. And when we did that, I needed a new phone anyway, so I switched to an iPhone, and Sarah has been delighted. I mean, I have too, but I think she's just as happy as I am.
Listen, the first text message that came through that was finally a blue bubble, I was like, for the love of God, thank you. Like, and I don't, honestly, I don't care. I don't care. It's not a big deal, but it's like, we've joked about it in the last couple of years of like dating, that you like give somebody your number and then all of a sudden you get a green text message and you're like, ugh. I don't know what it is.
Well, and I thought
I'm a
about
fucking
doing
prude.
Android. I thought about doing Android, but then Kyle was like, well, if you get another iPhone, it'll be free. And I was like, okay, I'll stick with iPhone. And then they were like, and then $120 in service fees. And I was like, okay, that's not fucking free then, but I guess.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
I think Erika's was like 85 and hers was not free.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's fine. We're family now. So, whatever.
Officially.
Yeah. Well, I do want to roll into a couple of questions for you. So, we know you're an indie author. Some of the books that you have out right now, you have the Great series. You also have Temporarily Forever and My Mother's Spirit. And so one thing that I noticed on your website is that your second grade teacher told you that you would make a great writer someday. How do you think that moment shaped you, or did it spark anything for you, or were you already on the path of like, I'm going to be a writer?
Oh, no. In second grade, I was going to grow up to be Cindy Crawford. My mom had me in like beauty pageants and ballet, and she wanted me to be like a girly girl, and my value was in my beauty. And so no, it like was not on the radar at all of like writing being something you enjoy. Like you go to school and you have to write and learn cursive and learn spelling words and all that stuff, and that was it. And so we had a spelling assignment that we had to use all 8 of our spelling words for the week in a story. And my second grade teacher was such a pretty redhead, and she looked like Fergie, the Duchess Fergie. I don't know if you guys.
Oh.
Yes. So I was convinced that she was secretly a princess, and she was engaged at the time. And so I wrote this short story about her and her then fiance, who was a prince. And like the kingdom was under a spell, and I used all the spelling words and stuff. And she was like, this is really good. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you're going to make a really good writer someday. And I was like, I am. People pleasing unlocked. And so I just kind of took that and I was like, okay, like this is something that I liked doing. And she still has that story, and they're still married, and she has kids who are like adults now, and it's so weird. But yeah, she She lives outside of St. Louis, and so she's always like, "If you're in this area ever, like, we have to get together." So, if that ever happens, it's gonna be the biggest tear fest. But, yeah, she's, like, what kind of started the whole thing, and then I had teachers, like, even to, like, high school that would tell me that I had a natural talent for it, and I was always the kid that if we had, like, a 3-page minimum, I was writing, like, 10 pages. And all the other
Love
kids hated me for it, but I've
that.
always loved it, and I always had a really good support system of adults around me who, said, "Go for it."
Okay. Okay. So when do you feel like writing became more than your dream? Like when do you feel like you kind of went over that tipping point?
Unfortunately, when I first published My Mother's Spirit, just because I had a physical book in my hand, I did go through a vanity publisher when I was 19 to get that published, so I paid a company $2,000 and they handed me a book, and it was really amateur looking and had, like, a really ugly stock photo for the cover, and in my mind at 19, I was like, "I'm a published author," and so
Mhm.
at the time, it was a big deal to me. My first book signing was at a Blockbuster,
Hey.
so that was exciting.
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, the fact that there are no more, that is fucking exciting.
Yeah. It ages me, but yeah. I tell my kids about Blockbuster, and they're like, "Why would you go somewhere to get a movie?"
Yeah, because that was the cool thing to do. Shut up.
Right?
Oh, God. Wild. Well, I can tell you I read The First Great book. It's The Great Divide, and I can tell you like I I raw dogged it. Didn't look at the description, didn't look at anything. I was like, "All right, she's got an audiobook, fucking bet." So, it was surprising to me. I can tell you that it was surprising. On like a dreams level, are any of these like types of dreams that you have had or experienced, or is this just part of your writing method? Like where do these dreams come from?
Most of the dreams in that book are dreams that I have actually had. Um, Temporarily Forever, Great Divide, and my next book that I'm getting ready to start writing on have all come from dreams that I've had. I've always suffered from really vivid nightmares. I used to have night terrors when I was little. I used to sleepwalk. I'm a crazy sleeper. So I take these like really graphic, fucked up dreams that I have, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna put that in a book because if it was that disturbing to experience that dream, then I want to disturb someone else with it.
Share the misery. Share the misery. I love that.
Mhm.
I love that. I can tell you that particular book it was kind of throwing me, and it's mostly my fault because I didn't read the description. I was like, "We're just gonna do this." So once I finally got like in the role of it, I really appreciated like the the questions on the religious aspect where it was like, "Why would God do these things?" Or like, um, oh god, I can't remember the specific line, but it was like along the lines of like God is a child and he just has a magnifying glass over an ant farm. Like this is just I don't know. I appreciated the religious sort of hypocrisy and the questions that kind of came with it just cuz I grew up in a pretty heavily religious family, and so I wouldn't necessarily say heavy, but like there was just the constant like, well, God's got your back and Jesus, and you need to believe and you need to do these things. And I just always questioned that. So I did appreciate that from you too. And I did appreciate that when kind of the twist in the end where Satan's right hand basically came out and, kind of explained his side of things and his story. Uh I appreciated I don't maybe the hypocrisy is not the right word, but I did appreciate like the hypocrisy of it, where I was like, I've had all of those questions. I've asked all of those before in my life. I've talked about this till my breath, so there's no breath left in my lungs. So I want you to know that, like, I appreciated that about the book, because while I did raw dog it and I had to backtrack a little bit, I did really like the book. I left you a review on Audible because I do really like it. So thank you for that.
Good. And yeah, I come from a super strict religious background too, and I wasn't allowed to like question anything. You just have to have faith, and God will never give you more than you can handle. And the like one set of footprints in the sand gimmick that like when you're going through a hard time, God's gonna carry you through it. And like I I do still consider myself a Christian in the sense that I like go through life not being a dick to people. I always put other people's like situation in mind, and I like lead with my heart. I'm a painful empath. This year has been such a struggle for me because everything that's happening everywhere outside of my house is affecting me so hard. And so like I consider myself Christian still in that sense, but like the guilt and the like feeling like I did this so I'm not like worthy of God's love, or I like don't go to church every Sunday so I'm not a good Christian. I'm not about it. And putting all of that religious trauma and being able to question through my books has been super therapeutic for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So my therapist, when I first started seeing a therapist in Germany, one of the things is that she wanted me to write. Like, she wanted me to either just write down stories or write down things that happened, or write down like my perspective and like the things that I want or the things that happened in the past, whatever. And physically writing things down, it has a good change in your brain. It creates chemicals in your brain that are positive for you. And I completely just lost my train of thought.
I
Oh.
like writing a lot when I was younger. And but now as an adult, like it's just very, I don't know. I have a hard time because I'm a perfectionist. So anytime I like write something down, if it's not perfect, I'm like, oh. And also it can be kind of like emotional for me. And Sarah knows this, but I don't like emotions at all. They make me uncomfortable, especially my own emotions. Disgusting. I don't want anything to do with those. So Sarah all the time, she's like, journaling is great. And I'm like, for you, I don't need to do that. I'm healed. Anyway.
I'm such an asshole. To the point, Vanessa, that she almost called out tonight. And I was like,
I did.
This conversation might actually help a little bit.
I knew it was going to help. I never said you weren't right. One day I'm going to listen to you. It's just
not today.
Not today. I always know you're right. Like, you're always right. I just want to be like, oh, let me be self-destructive, please.
You know, I honestly, I'm proud of all of us for just seeing a therapist on a regular basis. That's all that I'm like. That's all I'm proud of right now, honestly.
Right. But I read Temporarily Forever. I didn't finish it because I was reading it because I was like, I'll just read it real quick. No, I did not read it really quickly. I am going to finish it though, because it's really good. But one thing that I really like about your characters is like their, like, the connection that they have and how really good you are about like people talk about like witty banter. Like Julia Quinn is very good at witty banter, but like the conversations that they have, you did a really good job of showing like having a really good balance of like their inner and outer worlds, like understanding like what the character is thinking, but also what's going on around them, and like how their relationship sort of like builds, and like in a very, it seemed very believable to me. Like these are real characters and real, like this is a real relationship. And like I love romance, and I know like I love grocery store romance novels. Like that is exclusively what I read. Like Highlander romance novels, that is my jam. Are those super in-depth relationships? Absolutely not. But I'm very much a character person. And if it's a really good character, I'm like, these people are going to live in my head rent free for the rest of my life. And that's kind of, this is how I feel about this book. But like, when you're creating these people, like in your head, like what do you start with? Like, how do you build this relationship between these two people? Because you did a really good job in this book.
Well, thank you. So with Temporarily Forever, again, it started with a dream that I had. I dreamt that me and my husband Kyle, our two boys, and then our friends who were married at the time and their daughter and son all went to Worlds of Fun together. Um, those of you who are not in the Kansas City area, there is a theme park called Worlds of Fun. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. And so while we were there in my dream, there was a mass shooting. Kyle died, as he does in half of my dreams. He's either dying or cheating on me in my dreams. I never have good dreams about my husband. And then my friend's wife and one of his kids died in the mass shooting. And in my dream, he moved in with me and the boys to just kind of help me keep my house, because we've worked so hard for this house and I would be devastated if I wasn't able to like take care of it by myself. And in my dream, all of our friends were like, that's super inappropriate that you guys are living together and that's disrespectful to Kyle. And nothing happened in the dream at all. Like this was not a like I'm seeing this guy friend in a in a new way in this dream. But I was telling my mom about it and she was like, that would make a really good like romance story. Like if, the two people came together through that. And I was like, I'm not like huge into romance books. I went through a dark romance phase. I'm more of a horror thriller type girl. But I was like, well, I can still like bring in like death and trauma that I like writing about, but in a cutesy way, I guess. And I mainly wrote Temporarily Forever to see if I could do dual point of view, because the last book in the Great series is dual point of view. And so it was mainly practice to see if I could do it and if I liked doing it. And I loved writing Temporarily Forever so much. Um, I wanted them to be older because they have like preteens, like they both are like dealing with like puberty and all that stuff. And I wanted them to feel like real people. And I had just seen the Barbie movie not too long before I started writing the book. And I was like, America Ferrara is such an underrated actress. Like she's so
Totally agree.
beautiful and
Totally
she
agree.
is so yeah, and she was so emotional in that movie and her monologue is so good. And I was like, I'm basing the female main character in this book off of her. So that's who I have in mind for Jenna in Temporarily Forever. And then Ryan, I don't know if you've seen It Ends With Us, but the guy who plays Atlas in that movie is who I kind of use to base Ryan off of. And then also kind of loosely based off of my husband. So
I mean, it started with a dream. It started with
I
a dream,
mean, how could you not?
obviously.
yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I do
I also
have
love
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Mm.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I love a tragic romance. Sarah knows this about me. If there is a tragedy and romance in the same book, I am here for it.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
why
started reading this book and I was like, yes, this one's for me. Because
yes.
you were telling me about it and I'm like, I'm already in. I already love this book. And then I like,
Okay, so I'm probably repeating a lot of this to you already, but yeah, like P.S. I Love You and The Notebook, like all those like tearjerker romances, I love that kind of story. Because I want to feel like I don't want to just like swoon over the guy with the abs. Like I want to like cry and like think maybe it won't work out, and that does feel scary, and that does feel new and weird, and it's awkward, and you have to figure out all these other things. And yeah, I'm with you.
I think it's fairly ironic because Erika does not do the feelings thing. And so for her to have like these
I don't.
gut-wrenching romance novels that she loves to read and you're like, I love to feel the emotion, and Erika's just like stone-faced.
Sarah brought this up. I think it was like last recording or the recording before, where like the Sarah McLachlan ASPCA commercials, and she's like, and I'm just like,
Yeah, Erika looks disgusted at me like, why are you crying again? And I'm like, I can't. It's so
I'm just not like an outwardly emotional person, but I love like books that I read that I absolutely love are all books that have just like I read The Song of Achilles. That's probably one of my favorite books. I didn't keep it because I never want to feel those feelings ever again. Did I love it? Did it rip a hole in my soul that I will never be able to fill? Absolutely. And I loved
See, that's
it.
on my TBR, so I'm excited. I want to read it.
It's so good. And then I think immediately after that, I read the Winter Night series by Catherine Arden, which is another author that I will never stop talking about. She wrote the first book in that series is The Bear and the Nightingale. Yeah. And it's
yeah,
like
you've talked
a
about that on the show before too.
medieval, fantasy, but like super dark, super dark. Uh, again, loved it. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to need to read like 17 romance novels now because I have too many feelings.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh my God. Even when we decided to start this podcast, we were both going through like heavy emotional turmoil, and we were like, let's add a super time consuming hobby to it. Why not? It's fine.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Well,
turns out nothing, actually.
we've been doing really great, actually. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do want to ask kind of a deep question. So just as a precursor to some of our folks out there, I actually didn't know this about you until I had read your Facebook post about your 10-year anniversary. Fighting the good fight, survival is the achievement. And I want to touch, I mean, of course, if you're comfortable, if you're not, that's fine. We can skip over that. But I want to touch on it because my question is whether you think that helped shape some of the darker sides to your writing or just the more emotional sides to your writing, if you think that had played a factor at all.
For sure. Again, fair warning, we are going to talk about dark stuff. I told you I'm an open book. I will talk to you about anything and everything. I think I told you I'll talk about trauma. I'll talk about my vagina. Like I was so suppressed as a child. Like I can't keep my mouth shut now. So yeah, this past week I did, I don't want to say celebrate, but acknowledge that it has been 10 years since I, um, was sexually assaulted by someone who claimed to be my friend and was definitely not. 10 years ago, my husband and I were in like a really rough spot. Like we were separated but living together. And I had a group of friends from work that I was hanging out with. And I was also addicted to prescription drugs at the time. So I was dealing with a lot of heavy stuff all at once. And one night I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and my friend messaged me to come hang out over at his house. And me not wanting to go home, just wanting to keep the party going, I was like, okay, well, drop me off at my friend's house, and I'm going to hang out with some of my other friends if you want to go home. And she was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. Well, come to find out, there was nobody over at his house except his son that he had every other weekend. Fun little note in that. And I was belligerent drunk. And by the time I came to and realized where the situation actually was, I was trying to, put the kibosh on it and say like, hey, this is not a good idea. I shouldn't be here by myself with you. And he basically was like, well, you wouldn't come over in the first place if you didn't want it. And so things happened, and so it was July 9th, and my oldest birthday is August 9th. And basically I stayed up the whole rest of the night thinking to myself, if I can just get through this next month and wait until his birthday, then I don't want to be here anymore. And so I spent the next month making plans how I would do it. I was very careful to try and figure something out that wasn't grotesque. I didn't want anybody to find me in like a bathtub full of blood, like anything graphic or anything like that. I was trying to figure out the easiest way for my family to deal with me killing myself. And on my oldest birthday, I found out that I was pregnant with my youngest. So then I went through another situation where I didn't know if I had my rapist baby or if it was Kyle's baby. And that was very hard because, I grew up, like we talked about, in a very religious household, very pro-life type family. And it was a huge eye-opener for me, coming to terms with the fact that, like, I wouldn't be able to handle it. And so just trying to wait until I found out how far along I was excruciating. And when I found out how far along I was relieved because I knew for sure it was Kyle's baby. But then I had to deal with the fact that I was raped while pregnant. And so it was just like coming to terms with a lot back to back. My husband didn't know any of it had happened at the time because we were trying to mend our marriage. And I had to get extra testing done to make sure my baby was okay because I was addicted to prescription drugs. So all of that guilt and trauma, and being pregnant alone is a lot to deal with, and your body and your mind go through so many changes, and it was a lot. And I eventually told Kyle everything, and we worked through all that stuff. And it's so weird to me because I only wanted my oldest. Like, we were going to be one and done, just have one kid, because my oldest was a handful when he was younger. And so we were like, we don't want any more kids. And I was on birth control at the time, and I still ended up getting pregnant. And I'm not like religious anymore in the sense that like God works in mysterious ways, and like we talked about, God won't give you more than you can handle. But I really honestly feel like my youngest was this like crazy miracle thing that happened, and I'm still here because of it. And so every year around July 9th, I get really depressed because it's something that, you know, you can go to therapy and you can like come to terms with it. And I can say, like, I'm strong enough to forgive someone who isn't sorry for what they did, but I can't change the fact that it happened. And I was sheltered my whole life because my mom is also a victim of sexual abuse. And she had terrible things done to her at a very young age. And so she sheltered the shit out of me to protect me. I had a strict curfew until I got married to Kyle. And then something ended up happening to me anyways. And so it it sucks because no matter how hard you try to be careful or how modest you dress or how like cold you act to people so they don't think that you're flirting with them or like give off anything that might suggest something, that shit still can like happen to you, and it absolutely just sucks. Like, and I know that's like an insensitive way to put it, but like it sucks that there's absolutely nothing that we can do or not do to keep it from happening. And it's infuriating.
Wildly infuriating. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know we messaged about it a little bit, but I'm grateful. Erika and I started this like a year and a half ago, and the fact that we have you on the show right now makes
Mm-hmm.
me super pumped about it. So I'm very glad that you are still here. That's excellent.
I
Yeah.
am too.
I love you guys.
Well, and also like thank you for sharing that, because I don't think it gets easier to like tell your story when you hear other people tell theirs. And that's, part of why we do this podcast is like we are dumpster fires. We like at work, I have my shit together. I get all my stuff done. I have spreadsheets. I pay my bills on time. I have dance 3 nights a week. I do this podcast. I have a dog that I have to take care of. All of those things. I feed myself mostly. I don't drink enough water. Don't look at me like that. But like nobody has it together. Like you can't, like no one can go to the gym or work out, however you do that, eat well, go to work or whatever you do. Like have hobbies, deal with, like go to therapy, have a relationship, have children or in pet, like no one can do it all. It's not feasible. And I know for me growing up, like it was a thing where like, yeah, everyone can do this. Like this is just being an adult. And I'm like, what?
It's bullshit, for the record. I have a strong belief in the it takes a village theme of,
Mhm.
and it doesn't just apply to having kids. I don't have kids, but I think that the village that I have around me, the tribe that I have around me helps me to survive psychologically and physically. Because if I didn't
Oh,
have
yeah.
hobbies or the people in my life to spend time with or things that I enjoy doing, I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't be thriving in the sense of me thriving at this age. Like I wouldn't have that. And so, I can have dreams and goals and I can go and do all these things, but what's the point of all of that if I have no one to share it with and I have no one to like get excited with and talk about it and whatever. And the same thing goes for the people in my life. I want to get excited about their things and I want to celebrate their victories and I want to celebrate their losses too, because sometimes that is the open door to get you through to the next step or through even if it's a lateral move, whatever. So I'm piggybacking off of Erika, but I mean, you being able to share and talk about something so heavy and kind of trusting this as a space to be okay to talk about it, I appreciate it. Like it's not easy. It's not easy to talk about those things.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like, Sarah was talking about this last time. Like when you talk about heavy shit, it makes people uncomfortable. But like the only way that people are going to get more comfortable talking about it or hearing it is if we do it. And also like it is, unfortunately, like sexual assault is incredibly common. And that's even before you consider sexual harassment, any like shitty comments and jokes and all of that stuff, which isn't all on the same level, but it comes from the same place. And like, if we don't talk about it, then nothing's going to be done about it. And I think also having like, there's this idea that like, oh, you really like, oh, you went through this horrible thing, but then you use it to become a better person. And like, that doesn't always happen. It really doesn't. There are people that go through that and they can't. And that's like also not a crazy thing to think or be like, I am so lucky because of the things that like when I was going through a divorce, I had so many people that I could lean on. Like I had Sarah and Allison and Abby and Michelle and Natalie and Aloha and like so many people that I'm not even related to that I can call and be like, and just say like all the things that I needed to say like out loud, like, and it took me a year to actually do it, but I needed a year of essentially saying all the horrible shit over and over again to those people. And they all listened to me. And like without those people, without that community, I would probably still be there. Cause I always like, oh well, I don't want to do it by myself. Spoiler, I was doing it by myself. I just had a man child. But what?
That's
Anyway.
cute.
Jesus.
Own it.
Anyway. But having like, yeah, going back to having that community of people around you that like you can depend on and you can talk about that stuff with. And then also it doesn't really matter what other people think. Like you can share those things but it makes it easier because you're like not alone in it. Like I am in this pit of despair and Sarah like climbs down with me and is like, hey man, I don't have the answer, but I'll sit down here with you. Like
I've got
those are,
that's it.
yes, like those are the like I am so lucky because I have so many of those friends that like I just know that I'm going to be okay, and it just makes it like bleeds into the rest of my life.
Well, and I have a sort of joke. It's funny, but it's not funny. But so I married like the perfect guy. Humble brag. But I have a really bad track record of friending red flags. Um, after what happened to me happened, one of my really close friends at the time was like, well, we have to get him caught. So what if you trick him into doing it again and then you can like, yeah, it was total psycho. She like ruined my job situation that I was in at the time. And then I had another friend who was terrible. Like it was like back to back to back to back, like terrible people who were like, I'm your best friend though. I love you. I care about you. And then would do the most like horrendous toxic shit. And so that's like a really big thing is having a community because I have so many friends right now and I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but with the author community and with Casey Bookbeat, I have met so many people in the past year and a half that are good people, like genuinely good people who will notice my like emo girl memes that I post on Facebook and will message me like, "Hey, how are we doing? What's up? Do you want to go get coffee? What's going on? Are you okay? Or are you just being like the dark moody artist? Like what's going on?" And so it's really nice to have like actual good people supporting you. And it is a huge difference because you can have a lot of people surrounding you and still be alone because they're not the right people. So having that community and having that support system is such an important part of the healing process.
Yeah. And again, like I didn't always have this community around me, and I started it because I always, I was a military spouse, so like I moved around a lot anyway. And also like I could never really depend on him, and when I sort of wanted to get to the point where I'm like, I want to have hobbies and do good things for my mental health and not just go out and get drunk all the time. You can't do that if you don't have somebody to like support you. And like, that's when I started leaning on people and realizing that I couldn't really lean on him. And then I just got better at making friends in ways that didn't involve poor choices. Which I don't think anybody talks about that. Like learning how to make friends as an adult,
Oof.
Ugh,
insane,
awful.
terrifying.
Do not recommend.
I know.
It's awful.
Literally all of my best friends I made accidentally.
Yes. Yes.
So no regrets. And I have so many of these friends, but like it's hard. It's hard. It's rough out here.
Oh, man. Well, I do have a couple more questions if you're up for it. So with you working in multiple genres, right? So there's dark fantasy, there's mystery, there's romance, there's paranormal fiction. How do you choose what genre that you're going to explore? Like, is it based on you having these dreams and you're like, holy shit, there's an idea, I'm going to roll with it? Or is there some other kind of force in the works?
Mostly it's me seeing if I can do it. I know a lot of authors stick to one thing and just do that one thing over and over and over. And with some of those authors, I read their books and I can guess exactly where the story is going because I've read one of their books. And so I've read all of their books and it's very repetitive. And I'm a mood reader. My books that I've read are all over the place. I love biographies. I love historical fiction if it's World War II. Um, my favorite book from this year is Lights Out, which is smut. Like, I mean, it's like all over the place. Like, I'll read anything if it catches my attention. I just read Stone Blind, which is a Medusa retelling. If you caught from my Facebook post, I'm a big fan of Medusa because I vibe with her. But I mean, it's Greek mythology, and there's nothing like sexy about it or like anything different than what you already know. It's just a retelling of it. But
Mhm.
I love seeing what authors can do with stories. And so every time I get an idea, I'm like, well, I want to do that. Well, I want to try that. And I want to eventually kind of focus more on the darker stuff. Like Stephen King's my favorite author. And I know that's very cliche, but I love being scared in any sense. Like I love scary books, I love scary movies. Um I I like feeling feelings as much as I like try to like push them down and not feel anything. When something just pushes me into feeling something, I'm like, "Oh, I'm a human. I forgot." And I like that. So like I want to focus more on more like the thriller aspect. Like I have a couple different things that I am working on in the future, but I'm also wanting to do a female vampire, female witch, paranormal romance at some point. Like there's so many different things that I'm like, I want to know if I can do that. So again, I'm not traditionally published, so I can do whatever the fuck I want and have fun with it. And if people want to read it, they want to read it, but I want to write it, and that's all that matters.
That's true. That's very true. I love it. So, okay. If your style is kind of all over the place and it's just the ideas that spark and the inspiration, you have a full-time in-home daycare business and a family and hobbies, and you do things for Casey. I'm sorry. What's your role with Casey Bookbeat? I did not write that down.
So I'm the author relations director. It's funny because you said the term cat herder earlier, and that's literally my job. I do the smaller events like Planet Comic-Con or anything that's like a shared table for Casey Bookbeat, or like the pop-up events that we do with other businesses. I find event opportunities for authors, and they tell me, hey, we want like 3 to 5 authors in this genre. And then I go ask the authors, hey, this is a free event. Do you want to do this event? And if I'm like doing the event with them, then I make sure that they know how to sell not only their books, but everybody else's books, which is not easy because you get your pitch down and you know how to sell your book, but now you're a team trying to sell everybody else's book and talk about Casey Bookbeat. And so it kind of puts me in a minor management position, which is what I can handle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that being said, I mean, doing all of the things, the daycare, family at home, writing, and Casey Bookbeat and herding cats, like how do you find time to write? What's your writing, your ideal writing environment?
Being left alone is really all I ask, and it's an impossible ask because everybody needs me, which is fine because I like feeling needed. But I will
Cue the people
find
pleaser
time to write.
again.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
I have a really hard time saying no to anything. I actually, very huge growth development, put a task on someone else because I was like, as much as I want to say yes to doing this certain thing, I know. Trisha was so proud of me. I know. It was amazing. I was
I'm
like,
proud of
do
you.
this.
Phenomenal.
I don't want to. I know.
I'm so
So
proud.
I will give that to you because I'm overwhelmed. And Trisha was like, wow.
That is growth, baby. Oh my. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been staying up way too late on work nights writing because I am like in the zone right now. I'm trying to finish this first draft by the end of this month. So I'm literally this is like TMI, but I'm literally sitting on the toilet like writing notes on my phone, and then when I'm done like getting to my computer and adding it real quick. Like I will literally find any time to get any writing done.
I love that. We use WhatsApp for work, and like when I lived in Germany, we used WhatsApp for pretty much everybody that we met on the economy. And you can in WhatsApp you can send yourself messages too, and so I have that pinned at the top, and I send myself voice notes. So because I road trip all the time, so if I'm road tripping and I have whether it's writing or it's a lot of the last like 6 months has been podcast ideas. So I will, something will spark and I will send myself a voice note. And then usually like when I sit down to edit and I'm working on videos and like waiting for things to render, I'll go back through and like listen to those again and be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 and then do whatever I got to do. But that's like voice notes are my go-to.
I have sticky notes everywhere.
I'm going to put a little Easter egg in this episode. Trisha, I sent Trisha a picture. I'm going to send it to you guys too, but there's a picture of, I think Erika's in the middle of talking, but it looks like she's really excited about something. And Vanessa, you have a really cute smile on your face. And I'm smiling because I'm taking a picture of us like this, you know? And I sent it to Trisha.
Uh-huh.
And she said, oh my God, did you do that today? And I was like, yeah, it's happening right fucking now. And she says, ha ha ha, magical. It's going to be great. She's an excellent interviewee, so eloquent. And I said, I'm a huge fan. She said, good. I told a bunch of people about your podcast in group therapy today. LOL. And I was like, all right. Thank you. But she then goes on to say, I feel like eventually this year I need to do another episode with you guys, like a full circle moment. And I said, obviously. And she said, I'm such a different person that I was then. A huge part of that change is you and Erika.
I've already cried once today. I can't do it again.
Like Sarah McLachlan, cue the music. I'm just done. Like,
yeah.
We
Also, can we talk about how Trisha is a literal Disney princess? Like,
yes. Oh, well, and I was going to say, like, it's so ironic that she said that about you guys because I feel like she has changed me and, like, I don't know, like, I am such a different person than I was a year ago
yeah.
because of her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wild.
The compliments that she gives us are, like, insane.
It's enough to make Erika
like,
cry.
She's always like, yeah, which never happens. Truly.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, she tells me stuff all the time, like, you're more than your worth, and you don't always have to, like, be valuable to be loved, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like, hold on. You can't just drop that shit on me. I need to be emotionally prepared.
Can you give me a heads up when you're about to do this? Because I have to emotionally, I have to psychologically be ready for that. And even then, no guarantees. Ew.
Yeah.
I need a trigger warning for a compliment.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally, the best way to, like, knock me off guard is to give me a sincere compliment.
Yes.
To be fair, Erika and I have talked about this before too, that I will not be knocked off my, like, I will accept a compliment if it's about my spreadsheets in Excel because they're fucking magical. I will also accept a compliment about the podcast because Erika and I put an ass ton of work into this shit. So, like, you liked the episode? You're fucking right you liked that episode. That episode was a lot. Like, yeah, but anything outside of that, I'm like, ew. Why?
Ew. I had a first full circle moment with my therapist today. I was talking about how, like, my job situation and how, like, my boss and, like, the like, chief basically were like, hey, like, you really stepped up. You've been doing a lot. We're going to try to, like, increase your position so you can get a raise, whatever. And and that meant a lot to me because we've all been in situations where you work your ass off and people are like, thank you for doing it. Like, no, we're not going to give you more money. Now we're just going to expect more from you. Thanks for setting the bar higher.
Yes.
And I was talking to her and I was like, I really like, I was like, it's probably just like, I don't remember what I said, but I was like, yeah, it's probably just that I'm doing it. And they don't want to lose me or because they can't hire someone else. And she was like, no. You have to, like, she's like, they would not have offered that if they did not think you were worth it. Like, you are not just lucky to be in this place at this time. You have earned it. And we had the exact same conversation. I said those exact same things to Sarah like 2 days ago. And I was like, wait a minute.
All right, bitch. Listen to yourself.
Yeah. Like, oh, take my own advice. Disgusting. No, thank you.
Gross.
Growth is for other people.
Well, you're already healed, so.
Yes, obviously.
She's
you can
like,
tell by my tape in men.
Thank you. Okay, Vanessa. So we've talked your books. We've talked life. We've talked some dark. We've talked about these things, but tell us, like, is there a current project that you're working on? You made a comment about a first draft.
Yes. So I am working on the third and final book of the Great series. So I have Great Divide, and then Great Desolation, and then the final book is Great Devotion, and that comes out by the end of this year. I don't have a definitive date just yet. But I'm almost done with the first draft, and then I can get rolling with editing and beta readers and all that good jazz. And then hopefully in the next couple months I'll have an actual release date for that book. But it's bittersweet because I, have spent all this time world building, and, these characters mean so much to me. And this is the for sure goodbye to all of this. And it's super sad, but then I get to start working on my creature feature horror book next. So I'm also very much looking forward to the next thing.
Okay. So do you think, is there going to be any other, sorry, I'm forgetting the name of it. Where did it go? Holy shit. Temporarily Forever. Sorry. I have my notes on my thing and then I completely blanked the name of it. Is there going to be any other books like Temporarily Forever, or was this one of your one-offs of let me see if I can try this?
So I'm actually going to do an interconnected series. So Butcher and Blackbird, that type of thing, where the characters in each book know each other, but it's their own story. So this is what Temporarily Forever looks like. I'm going to go with the same theming for the covers. So one of them, the next one is going to be an electric guitar with red roses, and it is going to be hella spicy. It's going to be I don't know if you've gotten this far, Erika, but it's going to be Jason and Mandy's story. And then the third book is going to be about Ryan's brother, who's a photographer, and his love interest is getting married. It's an ex-girlfriend, and he's photographing her wedding, and so they kind of reconnect through that.
The Wedding Singer, but with
Yes!
photographer.
Yes! That's exactly what I'm going off of. Yes.
I fucking love. I am not a romantic comedy person. I fucking love that movie so much.
Yes.
First of all, Adam Sandler is
that's my favorite Adam Sandler movie.
Oh my God.
Same.
Yes.
It's so good. It's
so good.
So do you
He's
have
adorable.
any...
I love him.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Do you have any upcoming events, either for author or KC Book Beat?
As an author, my next event is Boozy Book Fest on July 26th. I know by the time this airs, it'll be past, but that's been my biggest event to date. I did the one back in February, and it was crazy. And I did it while I was sick, and I almost passed out. So Kyle had to start selling my books for me while I sat there and tried not to pass out. But he did a fantastic job, and I did. And then I think the one after that won't be until September 6th at Karma Community Market. They're doing a thriller mystery, a murder mystery type thing where there's going to be clues that you have to go ask the authors about and all that stuff. So that'll be fun.
That's interesting. Ever since I've seen Boozy Book Fest, I'm I have to go to that. And then I end up working every friggin' weekend. So, and then
it's a lot. It's huge.
We are going to see you in November. So fucking pumped about that, obviously. I am low-key trying to convince Erika to come in an extra day early so that we don't just have back-to-back-to-back-to-back type of shit going on. And this is the first that I've actually mentioned it to Erika.
No, I wanted
we'll get there.
I want to also. Last time I flew in on Friday and I left on Sunday. I'm not even joking. Like, insane. Was that a good idea? Absolutely not. Do I regret it? Not even a little bit. However, next
time we choose a little more sleep. And
yeah.
thankfully, we were shockingly prepared for lit and libations in May.
Correct, yes.
I'm pretty proud of us as far as like not ever doing a show together, also never working an event together. And we're both control freaks and we're both type A personalities. So it's kind of, seriously, it could not have been more flawless. If I do say so myself.
No, it was great. We also both have done a lot of events before, which I think helps.
Factual. So I have big hopes for November. It's going to be better than May. I will say I am going to drive up from Texas because I was like, oh my God, I'll just fly in, and anyone that we met and became friends with from Lit and Libations, they can come pick us up from the airport. It's fine. I am putting a lot of pressure on the new friends that we have, but I realized like all of the recording equipment and laptop and the stand and the stickers and the tablecloth and the things and the blah, 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 blah. Duh. Like, I'm gonna drive. It'll be like a 10-hour drive one way, but who fucking cares? It's fine. Like, who cares? Plus, I will have...
I mean, you drive 17 hours to come see me.
In one day.
One way. In one day.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I love a good road
Sarah
trip,
is
seriously.
insane.
It's true.
She is a crazy person. Absolutely wild. Like, first of all, she'll work like 20 hours in a row, and then she'll be like, I just feel like such a piece of shit. Like, first of all, you need to calm down, because you're the only person I know that makes me feel lazy. Like, Jesus Christ.
All I'm saying is I could do more. Okay.
Yeah,
so
but you shouldn't. But you should not.
Yeah. So we will see you in November in Kansas City, which we're super excited about that show. It's the fall Lit Libations. And then I don't know if we've been terrible about posting on our socials, but we just got featured in a national magazine a couple weeks ago, and we're just like so pumped. I'm hoping that the physical copy, I think we can buy the physical copies by the end of this week. So I will be bringing copies with us on like a corny level to be like, do you want me to sign that for you? Like, oh my God. Like, I can't wait.
I think you announced that around the same time that I announced that I got Best Local Author in Kansas City Magazine. So like we're all in the magazines.
Oh God, it's so great. It's such a fun thing. Like, again, I mean, Erika and I have talked about it 100 times, but like when we started this show, it was like, we'll have 12 listeners by the end of our first year, and more than half of them will be our family or friends, if not our own computers trying to boost our own numbers. Like, you know.
Yes.
So it's cool to know that like we're getting messages from people, and we're getting like regular interview requests, which is insane. And we're on a humble brag, but not so humble. Like, we're booked out to the end of August with interviews. Like,
that's awesome.
All right. So I want to thank you again, because I know Erika and I talk a lot about some pretty heavy things on this show, and like I feel it is an uncomfortable topic, especially when it's something that has happened to you and it's traumatic, and it's something that, like, even though you want to help people, or even though you know that your story might help someone else, it doesn't always necessarily make it easier to talk about. And for me, I'm more comfortable with it's contradictory. I'm more comfortable with making myself uncomfortable to help another person. And I just want you to know, like, I appreciate you sharing that kind of thing, because we get messages on a fairly regular basis, mostly from women being like, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying the things out loud that I can't. So that's
what I love about you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Thanks for being a
know.
safe space.
Oh, it's crazy to think about because we like when we're recording, it's like it's just a FaceTime call and we're just, bullshitting and talking about life and talking about these things. But then you see it on YouTube and you're like, oh, oh, all right. Like,
Wow.
we did that.
Well, and the thing I love the most about you guys is like you are funny, and I use humor a lot to cope with trauma. My husband frequently tells me that I could have been a stand-up comedian because I have so much trauma and I use it to be funny and it makes people uncomfortable. But then on the flip side of that, I have to be uncomfortable talking about my shit to make other people comfortable. So it's like that balancing act.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is too, like, I think for me, I do a lot of like self-deprecating humor where I'm like, it's fine, it's the trauma. But like also in a serious level, like this is why I have a therapist where I'm like, that's the trauma. Erika actually did it to me today. Of all fucking days, we were texting and I was like, she said that she was having a really bad day. And I was like, I really think that tonight's interview might actually help you because Vanessa has things to talk about. I'm really excited about her books. Like, I think this would be really great. Plus, we love Vanessa. So, like, duh, it should cheer you up for sure. And I thanked her for letting me take a bye week last week because I was like, I'm not all here upstairs. And she said, girl, of course you do a lot for the podcast. And I was like, I know, but like, I want to do more. Like, I want to be able to do more. And she just responds with, that's the trauma. And I'm like, oh, there she is. Yep. Yep. Got it. God. Leave me alone.
The amount of times we say that to each other is a lot of times.
It's so bad. So anyway, I thank you again. Thank you for coming on the show. We absolutely will welcome you back in the future and cannot wait to hug the shit out of you in November. So,
Yes. Group hug.
Group hug!
all right, Erika, you want to get your bearings and do our outro? It's my favorite thing. When she does it, I don't even think she realized she does it because she's always staring off at like some random place in the ceiling. And then all of a sudden she's like,
Yes.
At least she's not doing this.
Oh my God.
that
I
was the
watched that
absolute best.
scene so many times where I was just like, what the?
There was something that took over your body because I cackle every time because you just do it and you're
Every
like,
time. Sometimes I just do things and I'm like, ooh, that's a little neurodivergent.
boo boo, the internet is forever. There it is.
Well, okay. It's my process, Sarah. Let an artist work, all right? I had to wait for you to. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We love you so much. Keep it in.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Here, I'll mute. Sorry.
No. We're keeping that in. That was fucking
Coming
hilarious.
in to be like,
That was amazing.
you.
Fuck you. Okay. Oh my God. This is the best outro we've ever done.
Oh,
Anyway, Everyday Dose, Primal Queen, our OG, Forever Storage. We love you. We're going to be at Lit and Libations in November by Casey Bookbeat. Super fun. Everything's great. We love you. Without you, we would be potting into the void.
And you forgot book club again.
Oh, yeah. We have a book club that we 100% never forget ever, and we always read the book. This month, the book is called Thunder Thighs by a person that I for sure have not forgotten the name of. Evie Mitchell. Thunder Thighs by Evie Mitchell. And we 100% are reading it right now. For sure.